Football teams, like service departments, have variable labor rates. A few examples. NFL quarterbacks on average earn nearly $2 million. Defensive ends close to $1.6 million. Tight ends under $1 million. As head coach, you'd never let your QB play tight end, but that's just what happens when you have master techs changing oil.
Most service managers fall into the trap of they're busy. They give an oil change to an A tech.
That's a losing game plan if it's a game plan at all.
That's why it's imperative that as a service manager, I look at distribution of work on a daily basis.
NADA's guideline calls for racking up 70% gross profit in service, but that's more difficult due to a changing market.
Where we're not doing so much repair work, we're doing maintenance work. And the way we used to pay our technicians, we always wanted these master technicians, these high-line technicians, and they were paid a very high wage to do, and that's what that job will pay. Well, what's happened now is we're doing a lot more tires and brakes and competitive maintenance work, so that's not the high dollar stuff, so we can't have the master techs doing it to keep our labor ratios where you were talking about being at 70% in line.
Now, in most service departments, you can have multiple labor rates when I create service opcodes. Quite honestly, when I worked retail, I had 7 different labor rates. One for competitive, which would be oil changes, tire rotation, wheel balancing, alignments. One for maintenance, that would be the 7,500 mile service, 15,000, 30,000 service. And 5 for repair, depending upon the complexity of what we did.
How you distribute the work affects your bottom line. If you're not meeting or beating NADA's guide, it will take an RO analysis to figure out why.
So it's finding that variable structure. That's also become a big issue that we need to look at dealers, and that comes with looking at repair orders also, because then I can figure out by looking at that from what we took in cash-wise, what we paid out, and make sure we're 70 to 75%.
Part of that is making sure you're getting the most out of your techs based on their skill level.
That's correct.
So this is an extreme example, but you don't want your master tech changing the oil.
Absolutely, exactly what I'm saying.
To learn more about NADA University profit building tools, click on the NADAU links on this webpage.